Susan glared at the cloud-filled sky as she half-heartedly trudged along the pedestrian-filled walkway in search of a noise-free area in which she could finish her much-dreaded homework. That sentence may sound a little long and clunky, but if you write it out, you'll see that it's filled with words that are hyphenated. Today we'll be looking at exactly what a hyphen is and when we should and shouldn't use it in our writing. Let's begin with two basic ground rules that are often broken. Hyphens should not be confused with dashes. Note that the hyphen is a single short line, while the dash is longer. Dashes are also used differently, but we'll leave that for another video. Avoid spaces between hyphens and the text they are connected to. For example, in the word self-esteem, there's no space between the word self and the hyphen, or between the hyphen and the word esteem. Keeping these two rules in mind will save you a lot of trouble moving forward. Now, let's look at some more hyphen rules. Rule number 1, compound adjectives. When multiple words come together to form a single idea that modifies a noun, which we call a compound adjective, then hyphens should be used between each word. Examples include well-lit room, state-of-the-art technology, and fur-covered animal. Rule number 2, creating original compound verbs. Sometimes we create original creative verbs in our writing. Using hyphens to connect these words reduces ambiguity and shows that the two or more words should be read together as a single verb. For example, the slacker video gamed his way through life. Note here that video gamed is not an established verb, but the writer has used it as a way to creatively express the way in which the slacker went about his life. Since it is a made-up verb, a hyphen is required in order to show that it is a verb and to prevent confusion. Rule number 3, creating new or unusual compound nouns. As with verbs, we can also create nouns using two or more words. When these compound nouns are not already established and widely used, it is best to use hyphens between the words in order to prevent confusion. For example, I changed my diet and became a no-meter. Here, the hyphen is important because no-meter without the hyphen might be confusing. Including the hyphen tells readers that no-meter is a single concept. Rule number 4, avoid hyphenating between very and adverbs ending in ly. It may seem correct at first glance, but avoid hyphenating between very or an ly adverb and the noun or verb being modified. For example, you wouldn't use a hyphen when describing a very tall man, nor would you use one to describe a finely dressed man. However, do keep in mind that the ly rule we're talking about only applies to adverbs, words that modify a verb. Not all words ending in ly are adverbs, and they can often be used to create compound adjectives like those discussed in Rule 1. For instance, the word family ends in ly, but since it isn't an adverb, you would put a hyphen when using it to describe something like a family-owned restaurant. Rule number 5. Hyphenating to tell age. Use hyphens when writing ages that include the words year, month, day, or week. For example, if your dog is 2 years old, you would use hyphens to describe him as a 2-year-old dog. However, if the time period is plural, you do not use a hyphen. If you were describing the age of your kitten that is 6 weeks old, there would be no hyphen between 6 and weeks. Rule number 6, hyphenating spans or estimates of time. Hyphens should be used either between a span of time or an estimated range. For example, 1996 to 2007, 50 to 60 people, and 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock are all hyphenated. Rule number 7, compound numbers from 21 to 99. This rule is mostly self-explanatory. Always include a hyphen when writing out numbers between 21 and 99 in word form. Rule number 8, X all self-prefixes. Use a hyphen after the prefixes X, all, or self. For example, ex-wife, all-knowing, and self-esteem are hyphenated. All of these examples we've looked at are not an exhaustive list of all of the rules for hyphenating, but they are the main rules that are most important to remember. Here's a quick rundown of some other rules to make note of. First, hyphens can be used to reduce ambiguity in writing. For example, recover versus recover. Recover means to get better, but recover means to cover up something that was previously covered. Second, spelled out fractions should be hyphenated. For example, 2/3, 9/5, and 1/4. Third, hyphenate double last names. For example, William Smith Jacobson. Fourth, hyphenate prefixes for proper nouns and adjectives. For example, mid-September or trans-Pacific. Fifth, hyphenate family relations that use the word great, such as great aunt or great-great-grandmother. Sixth, when combining two or more hyphenated words or phrases, keep the hyphen after the last word before the conjunction, such as 2-year to 3-year-olds or 18th and 19th century art. As you can see, there are a lot of rules for using hyphens. If you're ever unsure if you should use a hyphen when you're writing, a dictionary is a great resource to use. Before we go, let's look at a review question to see what you remember. Which of the following is false? A. Hyphens should be used when self is a prefix. B. Hyphens should be used in compound adjectives. C. Hyphens should be used after adverbs ending in ly. Or D. Hyphens should be used when spelling out numbers between 21 and 99. The correct answer is C. Remember, avoid hyphenating between an ly adverb and the word it's modifying, as well as the word very. I hope this review was helpful. Thanks for watching, and happy studying.